On Friday, the Supreme Court of Nigeria affirmed the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, thus putting paid to all the litigations that characterize his emergence as the winner of the 2023 election and subsequent swearing-in. That has put paid to all the Chicago certificate forgery allegations and several other issues that came to the front burner, particularly with the judgment given by the Presidential Election Petitions Court. For many Nigerians, well, the outcome of the Supreme Court judgment was expected. For some others, this is not how it ought to be. These and lots more we'll look at in today's program on Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio with their host to the most, Sonny Duke Okosun. Just before we welcome our panelists today, let's take a look at some of the stories we are following as reactions and counter-reactions to the judgment of the Supreme Court on the validation or otherwise of President Ahmed Tinubu. The Labour Party and the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, have disagreed over an alleged plan by the present administration to begin a clampdown on opposition members. While the LP claimed the clampdown may follow the victory of President Bola Tinubu at the Supreme Court, the APC said there was no truth in the allegation. The national chairman of the LP, Julius Abure, had claimed that his party received intelligence that the president may be coming after him. The party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, and some chieftains following his victory at the Supreme Court. Abure's claim came after a 7-man panel of the Apex Court unanimously dismissed the appeals of the LP candidate and his People's Democratic Party counterpart, Atiku Abubakar, and affirmed Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential election. For Alhaji Abubakar Atiku, some are saying he needs to resign now and allow younger people to go into the foray of politics. Well, in his resignation, I'm sure he will go to his Dubai residence and continue his business there. Anyways, the national chairman of All Progressive Grand Alliance, Sylvester Ezeokwena, has hailed the victory of President Bola Tinubu at the Supreme Court. Ezeokwena said the Supreme Court's verdict on the petitions filed against Tinubu by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and his Labour Party counterpart, Peter Obi, showed that Tinubu won the February 25, 2023 presidential election. He stated these on Friday at the APGA National Secretariat in Awka during a media chat with some members of the Nigeria Union of Journalists in the state. He urged the opposition parties and other Nigerians to join hands with Tinubu to develop the country. This is also the views of former President Muhammadu Buhari, that the Labour Party candidate, as well as Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, should try as much as possible to support the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's quickly move on now. Ahead of the forthcoming governorship elections in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, said security agencies are aware of negative mobilizations by certain elements to frustrate the conduct of the November 11 polls, warning them to stay off or risk serious consequences. Let's see how all of that will pan out ultimately in terms of the readiness of the security agencies to deal with those who will want to make trouble in that particular election. The National Assembly Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Sokoto has affirmed the election of a former governor of the state, Aminu Tambuwal, as a duly elected senator representing Sokoto South. The 3-man panel of the tribunal, led by Justice Dennis Echesi, dismissed the petition of the APC candidate, Senator Ibrahim Dambaba, challenging the victory of the People's Democratic Party and its candidate. Finally, on some of the stories we're tracking on this segment of the program, yes, Imo election, voter awareness very low, says INEC. Accredited observers ahead of the November 11 Imo governorship election, the coalition of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC accredited observer groups on Thursday expressed worries that voter awareness is very low in Imo State. They disclosed this to newsmen in Owerri while speaking on the pre-election exercise conducted by the group in the state. That's much we have for you on some of the trending stories on the political scene on the program Politics Today. Let's meet our panelists today on the program. From my extreme left, I'd like to thank very especially a chieftain of the APC, a grassroots politician, public affairs commentator, Barrister Gentleman Amego. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Duke.
We also have with us in the studio the Executive Director, Human Rights Advocate, Bishop Osadola Oche. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. God bless you, listeners and viewers at home.
We also have as well Executive Director of Freedom of Information Council, Barrister President Aigboha. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Duke.
We have with us a distinguished legal practitioner, a notary public of Nigeria, human rights lawyer, Barrister Patrick Ishekwene. Thank you for joining us.
Duke, good morning. And Avia, happy viewing.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being a part of the program. Let's get started. Barrister Mengo, let me start off with you right away. The Supreme Court has made its final judgment, and that has put paid to all of the litigations that have characterized this decision. For many people, it wasn't a surprise because of what some have termed the Nigerian factor. Do you think that's what exactly played out?
No, Duke. No.
Yeah.
I don't think you talk of Nigerian factor into judiciary. Judiciary is independent. You don't call in judiciary, you don't call banana apple. Say what the law says. What they have said, whether they are right or they are wrong, they have only interpreted the law. You see, this idea, particularly on social media, condemning justices is unfair, because what you think on the basis of morality is not what the law says. The law sees it as it sees, and what has happened, it may not be the correct thing, but on the face of the law, what they have interpreted is what they saw on the election day, and also what the lower court also saw. But in Nigeria, we just think that, oh, they have been given bribe, they have done this, done that. No, banana remains banana, apple remains apple. So we are going to continue now. Leave litigation alone and let us go into governance. That is where we are now. When you go to court, Duke, either you win or you lose. And that's what has happened. I feel sorry for those who said they won and they were not told that they won. It's unfortunate, but this is what the law says in this particular circumstance. So I salute the justices. I also plead with those who are not satisfied to be satisfied, because there is no other way to go. Supreme Court make laws, Supreme Court decides what fate we are going to have. And so we'll continue now unless we go to People's Court or go to the court of God. But it shall be well with everybody.
All right, Bishop Osadola Oche, what in this judgment excites you? Because I know you advanced some views in subsequent, previous programs we had on this same issue, and that's the reason why we are basically repeating the same guests today, so that we can leverage on some of the conversations we've had on this same discussion.
Thank you very much. You see, I have always told the Nigerians that the best thing to do is to look at our laws, not at our emotion and our feelings. I mentioned here last time that there was a billboard all over Nigeria where they tagged "all eyes are on the judiciary." And I mentioned to you that all eyes should be on our laws. What did the law provide in this circumstance, in this election? The Nigerian Constitution and the Electoral Constitution as amended 2022. I have also mentioned here that in the time past, you can devise a means to even lie against your opponent, to INEC to disqualify the person. But they have seen that now there should be pre-election and post-election matters. And that what they are canvassing particularly the Chicago State University, is a pre-election case. And that the Supreme Court is not a generating court where you can bring further evidence or call witnesses. Supreme Court is only going to look at what did the lower court say. Do they err or they follow the law? And for you to prove it, you must be able to tell the Supreme Court that the lower court erred in this area of their judgment, and that the law say this judgment ought to be like this, therefore revise it. So if you are not looking at that, you are thinking that when you hire me, I should come to Supreme Court to say I was there, somebody is free, you are making a mistake, because Supreme Court have no such authority, no jurisdiction. So if they don't have jurisdiction, and you are writing on social media how somebody that INEC have declared as the winner should be removed, you are only busybody in the system. So today, what I said at that time has come to play out.
Okay.
Even in EBS, I wrote in one of my listings, they said, is it true? It's like some people have gotten the judgment. It's not getting the judgment. We are looking at the position of the law, not looking at what anybody is feeling. Our emotion, our commitment to one party or the other cannot change situation. The only thing that will change the situation is according to the provision of the law.
Okay.
So the judge have looked at it. That's why they strike out. Now they are leveraging on 25% of the federal capital territory.
Yes.
If you now win 25% of Abuja and you lost 36 states, so because you won in Abuja, the Electoral Commission should declare you as the winner? The answer is no, because the electoral law says and Abuja, federal capital territory.
Yeah, but the law went further.
So,
okay. All right, but
so that is the position.
Okay.
So you must get 25% around, but not
up to third of 36 states of the federation.
Not a hinge on 25% of federal capital territory alone.
All right, Mr. Press, let's get your take on some of the major constitutional fallouts from this judgment. I mean, Bishop Osadolo Oche just referenced the 25% of 2/3 of the 36 states of the federation and the federal capital territory. Then you also have the issue of electronic transmission of election results, which was a major contending issue, which, on the basis for which some claimed victory in this election. Let's get your perspectives.
Thank you. I'll start with the electronic transmission of results. The Supreme Court said IRF is not a collation center.
It is not.
If you read Section 25 of the Electoral Act, it said there's area collation center. No, there's ward collation center. There's area collation center. There is state constituency collation center for House of Assembly. There's federal constituency collation center for House of Rep and National Assembly. There is state collation center for governorship, and there is a national collation center for presidential elections. So express mentioning and stating of collation centers excludes all others that is not mentioned, including IRF.
Okay.
So the conclusion of the Supreme Court at that point is the law.
That's right.
If you move forward to Section 47 of the Electoral Act, it says that electronics in the elections are for voting and for accreditation.
Yes.
So I come, I turn my print, it accredits me. It's not to collate.
It's not to transmit.
It's not to transmit either.
That's right.
So you mentioned it, voting and what? Accreditation.
So does it mean the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who was very confident in telling Nigerians that results will be transmitted electronically, did he understand this part of the law? Or secondly, does it mean that in INEC as an organization, both at the federal, state and level, local government level, they don't have lawyers who could interpret these portions of the Electoral Act?
No, you go to Savile Road and you buy a car. You go to Pufia and the matter is because you are buying it today, that car is supposed to take you to Abuja.
Yes.
But fortunately for him, there are so many bad roads in Abuja. Abuja is not Lagos. You are going to Abuja. There are so many bad roads. And when you now start witnessing those bad roads, because of those, even if you as a parked at the car shop for a very long time, they already have some issues. So it may not take you to Abuja. It doesn't mean and the person who sold it to you lied. If you have gone to Lagos, you have arrived, but your road is smoother. Or you went to Abuja, you had a bad road. So the man is telling you what the gadget that he has can do everything. Even monitor him in the office. But fortunately for him, he didn't do some of the things he itemized. But does that, the issue now is not the functionality of the item or whatever the NHM has said, is that what did the law say this thing should do? I get it. What did the law say the thing would do? Yes. Did it do it? So the two things that the law says it should do has been done, irrespective of media broadcast by the INEC chairman who has promised heaven and earth. Not out of ignorance, no. But of course, is that it was over-expecting because of the budgetary allocation that was assigned to such electronic gadgets, and also the anger of Nigerians, the money they allocated to it. I get it now. Yeah. So it's not a waste. We are going to modify. If they can use other state elections to modify it, to move it from bare accreditation and voting to actually transmitting the results. Yes. If there is more focus on it to ensure that it transmits the result, yeah. I think it's a developing thing. But whatever the Supreme Court arrived at, yes, on that point is the position of the law.
Good boy. And
quickly to what Oshie said about 25%. Yes. There was some strategy in that election. There was a lot of pre-election matters. So when the pre-election matters were coming up, some of us saw it as an idea to quickly rush those issues before the court, before the main issue will come. So the opposition parties, those who are out of government, didn't see it that way. To have gone to meet those cases and try to interfere and perhaps beef up the legal team of those who went to those cases to the Supreme Court, if they were not even collusion. So some of these cases have already gone to the Supreme Court. They are pronounced on 25% in Abuja FCT before it even got to Presidential Election Tribunal. Okay. They are already pronounced on double nomination. Okay. Before the matter even went to the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, not talk of the Supreme Court. So if these issues have been rested, no matter the argument that you want to use the executive to argue 12 pages or 15 pages of constitutionality, the Supreme Court may not be able to vary the position because they have just decided on it barely 12 months. Okay. That's the issue.
All right, Barrister Patrick Isekwene, what are your thoughts on these? I mean, the grounds for the affirmation of President Bola Tinubu's victory based on the judgment of the Presidential Petitions Court?
Well, there's a maxim in law because that says that Dura led, said less. The law is harsh, but the law is law. As I've been affirmed, what I'm saying now is a case of res judicata, already decided by the court, by the Supreme Court. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not meant, the judgment is not meant to make you happy. They follow the law city census. Those are the same issue raised. In what my parents is here, on the 6th, I pronounced on it. I said, that is the law. But even if they go further, Article OB is to be succeeded. It goes to the Supreme Court. It will be very difficult for the Supreme Court to turn the judgment of those whether the pets. It's a very sound one. The law is clear. That's what the law says. You cannot be bringing, see, by virtue of Section 83 of our laws, about Section 3 of the Evidence Act, you can't go and procure, during the pendency of a matter, you go and procure a new document. You can't be tender it. The law forbids that. It's clear. The issue of Abuja, I said there's no ambiguity. We just not try to maneuver ourselves. No escape route. But by virtue of Section 99 of the Constitution, make it clear that what brought the issue of the declaring Abuja as a state. And when Abuja is a state, all states are equal. The one attaching premium to Abuja. When it's a state, Abuja, if I'm in Abuja, I only have one vote. No superiority. Edo State is not superior to Kano State or Ondo. They are all equal. So there are no issues. What issue raised is just to disturb the Nigerians, hit up the politics. Honoring that the court is not that way. They follow the law, city census. So those issues raised, as you are aware, including the one of the CSU, Edo State University, if they are to even go further, what do you want there? The issue the man attended, the issue the Caleb Westbar said, the man you talked about attended our institution from 1977 to 1979. And what is called, they told you, what else do you want? You've got to what they told you.
You want to know if it's a male or a female.
Yes. No.
What
no. So
what's whether it's a male or a female that attended the school?
No. That's what we call the proper error. Okay? In your name, in states A, B, anything can be. It's normal. You can do that by consolation affidavit. They said, go clearer. The admission letter of Tinubu, I'm not holding brief for Tinubu because they got the case of res judicata. The court have decided on it. The admission letter shows it's a male. All the document before they show it's a male. So what are you talking about? This admission letter of Tinubu shows it's a male. It's Tinubu is a male, not like a female. That's why you submit the people.
Okay.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that the law, all these things we are talking about, does not arise. That's why you see they are big, the pet felt bad. They were fined. Tinubu labor was fined to pay for someone for 7 million. Then followed by Atiku 27 million and the APM 13 million to pay within 48 hours to the courts for bringing a frivolous and wasting on time of the courts. There's nothing there. Immediately to show you they this thing with they adopted that brief on Monday address. What adopted to show you that they've seen those things judgment given by that those judgment is very sound. There's nothing there. It's the only of Chicago we have interested them. They were supposed to even give that judgment, they had to adopt it. Yes, they were supposed to do that because they already know nothing there. How many days after? Not about 3 days after. The life is Thursday. There's nothing to read about the judgment. The judgment is there. If they want to, but if they give judgment that very day, the Nigeria will say, "Oh, they've been bought over. They already have judgment." They're already, you know. I could remember, sir. Let me digress. I was in the Supreme Court. I was a member of the legal team for Amanda Obaseki. We're in Supreme Court. Our former, the CJN then was about to adjourn. Well, I've got my addresses to adjourn for judgment. The one of the South African now drew attention to the CJ then. Said there's a motion that you were supposed to give ruling on. And if you leave it, our time will now come back, it will be settled back. And now look at it and say, hey, that is true. Please, gentlemen, give us 20 minutes. All the gentlemen, they went in chambers to give ruling on it. For 20 minutes, we waited for 1 hour 30 minutes. When they came back, they decided on that ruling. The next thing they said is a gentleman judgment. We started looking at each other. Judgment is a judgment. We say better for us. Then to flying back again with your flight to and fro, hotels, inconveniences. Now have the judgment. We are happy. Give the judgment. Okay. It's because when they came and said we have read this judgment several days, nothing here to disturb ourselves. Okay. Let's give it. Okay. They read the judgment. It's not more than 5 minutes.
Okay. Let's make progress. The Chief Justice of Nigeria made a comment recently in the build-up to the Supreme Court judgments, as it were, that the judicial system can't be influenced by comments, maneuvering, manipulations, or pressure from social media, as it were. For some people, that statement was an indication of what was going to come out from the Supreme Court as far as this litigation was concerned. Were you concerned by that statement, Barrister Mego?
You see, Nigerians are very, very preemptive of so many statements. You don't listen to all that. Even yourself, it seems to me that you are sympathetic to such statements. You don't listen to such statements on social media. When the man said, yes, the man was only preparing the minds of the people.
It wasn't a statement on social media. He said it by himself, with his own mouth.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
He said because it was
it wasn't that a suggestive statement.
So people don't go and commit suicide. It's just letting them know. Please, don't think along the line of social media. Think along the line of what the law says. In any case, Duke, I thought we should put that to rest now and talk of governance. But you are still going into judgment, a finality of the judgment that we have had. But this post-mortem at this stage is unnecessary. I was expecting that you let us go into what we expect from the present administration that will help Nigerians. Are you imagining the problem in this country? Are you imagining the sufferings of big people in this country? Can you now say that $1 is $1,000 is 1.2 million? Are you talking of, industries that have been closed down? How do we move forward? That's what we should be talking about, not judgment that has been delivered. What is left to be done on that? Leave it to God. Leave it to the people's court. People's court will not have any effect. If you want to rule, wait for another 3.5 years, you come back and rule. Please, Duke, let's discuss here. Maybe we'll be able to influence the people in government and forget about the judgment.
Okay, Bishop Sadolochi. That's a very smart one, a wise one. Yeah. So let's get a perspective. Like we already know, in that election, Tinubu got about 37% of the votes. Atiku came second with about 29. Peter Obi came third with about 25%. And Supreme Court has made a pronouncement. Like they say, when the Supreme Court makes a pronouncement,
It becomes
it becomes a law.
Yes.
And then if you feel different about that, you can actually seek the face of God. But you know, sometimes if you want to seek the face of God, perhaps you may have to buy, as they say, before you get there. But the interesting thing now is that the country is in a parlous state in terms of the state of the economy, insecurity, and all of that. For most people, all of those things came with the present administration. That explains why some didn't want a continuation of the ruling party against the background of the very, very disturbing years of former President Muhammadu Buhari. I said, but we're here now. So what is the way out? So maybe Bishop Osadolo Che could give us a head start and an insight into that. Yes.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I will always tell Nigerians that the 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari was a disaster.
But Buhari is no longer there now.
Sir, wrong foundation have been laid. How to dismantle this foundation and start another foundation is not the issue.
Yes.
All roads in Nigeria, there is no one that is passable. The entire south to Abuja. Even my place in Ebanke, I can't access my street from the federal highway. Amukbe to Uromi, Irua to Abuja. I can't access my street if I go home on that road. I can't even pass through Agbo to access Ebanke. I can't pass bypass here in Benin City. The last time I went home, they destroyed my rear light. Trailer where we were struggling on how to maneuver. They destroyed my rear light. It's there, I've not fixed it. So roads are bad. And if roads are bad, they affect the economy very severely. Because they affect goods and services that you ought to transport. People stay 2-3 days at bypass. People stay 2 weeks at Agbo, Uromi Joshua. And stay 2-3 days at Ebanke by origin there. All right? If we want to start on a new clean slate, Tinubu should study what is on ground properly because it's going to cost money. I understand he has awarded, approved, not awarded now, 22 federal roads to be repaired, which include Agbo Road and Saple Road. But it's more than that.
Exactly.
Go to Ovia River here, where they manage to park. When you drive there, that's how your vehicle will be dancing. You almost want to tumble into the river. I don't know how they did that one again.
Oh my God.
You understand? So, bad road.
Okay.
Then, when you talk of the economy of Nigeria today, Nigeria is an importing country today and not an exporting country. If we're importing up to toothpick, it will affect our foreign reserve. And before Buhari left office, there was nothing called foreign reserve. And if there was, it was very slim. And for you to buy anything abroad and bring to your country, and the white man has always been enemy to African countries because they will give us what we did not want to be able to package what we want. Okay, if you need this chair, for us to give you this chair, you will add this table, and you are not looking for a table. And because you have no choice, you carry and you begin to pay, you become a debt.
Okay, let me pause you there for a moment. Mr. Prest, I know you've been reflecting on the state of affairs of the country, even with the judgment made by the Supreme Court. People have talked about some of the strategies and structures that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu possesses in terms of recruiting people, getting the right people in office. But we haven't seen any sign that anything has been properly done in terms of putting the right square in the right hole, as it were, putting square peg in square hole, as it were. I mean, it looks like we are still even in continuation of the former government of President Buhari. Yeah.
Thank you for that question. I think the president had an advantage during the campaign. The advantage is that he's a statewide or national-wide politician. I know there's a lot of people across boundaries and across the rivers. But I can agree with you that the selection of ministerial appointees, even those of the MDAs, is a betrayal of the confidence we had on him, that he has an eye on talent. There are some key ministries that you can see the minister's profile has never really done anything serious, and they take, for instance, marine economy has like duplication of services, like 3 agencies, 3 ministerial offices around marine and water resources. So it just shows that they are not clear cut. I expected him to come on board and have something like Ministry of Youth and digital governance. Not necessarily Ministry of Youth and Sports. There should be a change. We have been able to recruit youth, we're able to get sporting feet from youth sector. We have succeeded. But how far have we gone with youth and technology? How far have we gone with infrastructure and technology? Take for instance, you're talking about road repair now. You're talking about fixing Agboro, fixing Saple Road. Is there a thinking around putting cable under those the roads immediately, so that you can have kidnappers are there? You can actually use the cable underground to be able to track them for security reasons, and even help our technological networking, so that our youth can even have some jobs to do, because there are a lot of things, infrastructure that you need in digital governance. Yeah. So I'm not seeing all those things in place, and I'm just saying that what we had before is just what we're having. We have the Buhari administration, who was just full of nincompoops, and the same thing we're having now. We're not saying strategic governance. Yes. You can see it from deployment. You can see it from mentioning it. You can see it from design. That, oh, this one knows where it's going to. Take, for example, Edo State. Either you criticize the governor, or he didn't do road, or he didn't do that one, or you cannot take it from him. You cannot take design from him. If you are a good governance measurement expert, you will know that there is design. But the only problem with design is that if you have a successor that doesn't know what he's doing, then your design collapses. That means that there's no end user and there's no sustainability. Yeah. But if you have infrastructure in place, even if a moron takes over from you, there's already a road. Yeah. There are already users. Yeah. So those are the only difference. So you must, a governance we expected from him is not what he's bringing on board. And the problem I think he's suffering from is federal character. That ministers must come from all the states of the federation. And all your nominating minister is those leaders that will nominate. So the assessment, if you look at Lagos, look at the people he brought from Lagos, you see that they are more of technocrats than politicians. That means that he actually had the thinking of having somebody who can put something on the table. But other states are not having that idea. They need mobilizers, they need those who can buy buses, who can settle leaders and all that. So the problem actually is not now from him, recruitment now, because from his own state, if you look at those he brought from his own state, they are called technocrats. Are you getting it now? So we now need to go back to our hinges and say, what do party need to give to governance? Are you getting it? Yeah. What do party need to give to governance? You are submitting a ministerial name, somebody who can be able to interfere in governance, who knows a lot of policy issues, who can give us a contemporary solution to the problem that we're having now. Not just somebody who lost in House of Rep and is a bad loser. So okay, let us compensate him in the ministerial slot. They were having that problem. So for now, there are no serious manpower in place to take over governance in Nigeria. And again, there is so much ethnicity. The appointments are lopsided to southwest. Okay. You are hearing so many names from the southwest. I will not have people from the south. I will not have people from the southeast. I will not have people from north central. So the president should also look at other areas and maybe consult widely for nominees and all that. So you don't just sit down and be picking names on those you already know from the southwest. Okay.
All right. I saw, I think it was last week also, we had a conversation around this issue of appointment of personnel into ministry, departments, and agencies. The one that particularly was quite striking was the chairman of Federal Road Maintenance Agency. It was just a guy who just finished his NYSC, an engineer, by the way, but just got through with his NYSC. He was made the board chairman of Federal Road Maintenance Agency. And just before you could say Jack Robinson, there was also the story of one of the ministers who is still a serving member
Yes.
in the FCT.
Yes.
These are some of the things that we have seen.
Yes.
These are unprecedented, really, in terms of appointment to ministry, department, and agencies. What do you make of this in terms of delivering the hope agenda for the nation, which this present administration prides itself on? Mr. Patrick.
As a typical Nigerians, you know the way it operates, that he is the president, but when it comes to appointment, is subject to whoever the states brings. Don't forget that must have strictly to issue of a character when picking candidate.
Federal Character Commission.
Yes, as it must. Like statutorily, you must a minister from each of the states.
That's right.
That's statutorily. So whoever is the states submit, they bring them. It's not the one. It's one going to take from. That is the party issue from the states. That's why most of the appointment, let me say about 60% or 70, is not the one. That's just true because the amount of executional provision, the more by it,
Okay.
have to go spread before he can add one or two things. So what is affecting is the Nigerian factor. Like I told you, it has been on this coming memorial. Because you must, whoever, it depends also the role you play in the party, you must be recognized. If the appointment is not given to you, it can be given to your son, it can be given to your daughter, it can be given to whoever. I don't want to talk too much. We know how Simbajo emerged as vice president of Nigeria. Some persons nominated him.
But was he qualified? Did
No,
he
I'm not
have
saying
the
he's not
pedigree,
qualified.
the academic
We know.
capacity? Yes. I mean, even in deciding
Yes,
who
we
is
know.
chosen,
Yes.
look for credible, qualified,
Yes.
competent, experienced people.
The
I mean,
minis-
you can see somebody like Dave Umahi now, the
Yes.
Minister of
Yes,
Works,
engineer.
traversing the length and breadth of the
Yes,
country
yes.
and trying to see things for himself to get things going.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the ministers today, they also have, they are qualified, I mean, in terms of degree, they have it. So, but again, generally, what is affecting him now is that is the issue of subsidy removal. I won't lie to you. That's why
Issue of what?
Subsidy removal.
Okay.
You know what Oche said here when he started his preliminary statement as preamble, that Buhari cost a lot of. It is what he left that Tinubu met. If not the issue of something.
It was because Buhari caused a lot of trouble.
Yes.
That's why he was voted, so he can fix those trouble. So now he's gotten the opportunity. We are still making reference to
No,
Buhari
but
caused the
it's
trouble.
not
It means that, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You need time
Yes.
to do to fix it. Subsidy removal never happened in the history of Nigeria. You know what it is? When fuel go up to 600 naira a litre.
All right,
Depend on the economy.
Let's make progress. Mr. Mengo, how sensitive is the present government when in the midst of poverty, hunger, suffering? I mean, this past few weeks, we saw youths from Ikpobaha blocking the expressway because of the hardship they go through passing that road. I wouldn't know if they've left there now, but the last time I checked, they were playing football on the road. So which means if you have any business you're doing on that axis, don't bother going there, because that's the only way they can speak. It looks like government is never responsive until and unless you go violent. Why and how did we get here? Mr. Mego, the question is, in the midst of all of this conversation, Nigerian government is about to spend, if they haven't spent it already, over 50 billion naira to buy SUVs for National Assembly members. So where is the sensitivity of this government to the plight of Nigerians? 080-7777-0300 is the studio number. Good morning. What's your name, caller? Talk to us. Hello, good morning. Yes, go ahead.
For me, the declaration of Tinubu as the winner of 2023 presidential election and the appel call for all the agitators of Makati and 3840, the indication that Nigerians have no way to go. They have one way to go. They are appointed Nigeria. I will never be trusted again. And what we are talking about right now, our senators are talking of war and authority, cards. They don't even talking about how our federal will be built, how our final will be so that so will come down. They are talking of what's going on and something cards. And not only that, they are talking that it is working teams away. They want to go to their constituency. I know they know the constituency they are representing. What I'm saying is that for 4 years, I never even
No hearing.
they say that
No hearing.
just imagine that everything Nigeria, they don't say anything wrong with government. I don't, as far as I'm concerned, this government is not taking us anywhere.
Okay. Morning. Yes, Abraham, go ahead, please. Where are you calling us from?
This is the question I want to ask. I just for the purpose of the political party. If the president should do well, is there not usually political party to come into order?
Yeah.
And then this president national debt, they get the ban on the Portugal debt. What is their aim and objective? Thank you.
Well, our time is up, really. Whatever has a beginning certainly will have an end. And I first want to appreciate our panelists, Vice Gentleman Amengo. It's always a delight to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Bishop Osadolochi, thank you.
God bless
Barrister
you.
President Agbokan, thank you very
for
much.
having me.
And Bishop Barrister Patrick Isekwune, thank you as well for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And to all our viewers and listeners on radio, many thanks for staying with us on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. No doubt, the Supreme Court has given its judgment, and that's a finality, except and unless the court or the apex court decides to reverse itself on that judgment, and I don't see that happening. But the onus is now on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He promised he has the magic wand to turn this country around. We haven't seen any of that. In fact, things have gone from bad to worse since coming on board. The roads are still in comatose. The economy is prostrate, with the dollar going out by the day. At the last count, over 1,300 naira to the dollar. Yes. We can't even talk about the pounds or even the euro. And it's going to get worse. Some analysts are saying it may even get up to 2,000 naira to the dollars. That's very possible, unless the president puts on his thinking cap, get the eggheads together, and do what is needed to stem this tide. Whether he has the capacity to do that, only time will tell. But as it is at the moment, things are certainly not going right. But we hope that all the distraction that characterized his emergence will be put behind us, and we can move forward as a country and look forward to the next election year when we can exercise our franchise and do the needful. But we hope that again will be allowed to stand. That's my take on the show today. I want to say big thanks to everyone that made it a huge success. Politics Today on ITV Radio Network. Have a great weekend. Big congratulations to our Executive Director, Lady Celerina Ojomo, on your 70th birthday. You look golden. I will say congratulations, and we wish you the very best of the day. Bye for now.